Hey guys, it's Dad with Dad's Guide to Adulting. I hope you're doing well and that you're having a great day. Okay, so now we've talked a little bit about the magic of compound growth and how that can help you build wealth over time. Let's talk about how you keep track of that growth in your wealth. You do that with a net worth chart. A net worth chart is simply a spreadsheet that you create and monitor and update from time to time that keeps track of your net worth. So what's net worth? Net worth is just an accounting term. It basically is a number that you reach by adding up everything you own, all of your assets, subtracting everything you owe, all of your liabilities or debts, and then the number that you get, the difference between the two, is your net worth. It's how much you own after you pay off all your debts. Your goal, of course, is to get that number to increase over time. To offer up just a very simple example, if everything you own totals $50,000, but everything you owe totals $30,000, your net worth, the amount that you are worth as a person financially, is $20,000, or the difference. Your goal is to get that number to grow over time. The sooner that you can get the number that appears on your net worth chart to match the number that you have set for yourself as your retirement goal, the sooner you will reach financial freedom and have the ability to decide how to spend your days, whether you want to work or not. And that is extremely important to get to as soon as you can in your life, as we've talked about already. What does a net worth chart look like? There's really no magic to it. You can create one in a number of different ways, but I've got one here that I've created for myself with hypothetical numbers and that you can use. It also appears on our website. There are 2 pages in this spreadsheet. The first one is basically the overall net worth picture. That's the one we're going to be talking about and focusing on in this video. The second one is sort of a summary of your investment accounts. And we can talk about that more in detail in the videos on retirement planning and retirement savings. Before diving into this, I want to make 2 quick points, make sure that we're clear on that. First, the numbers that I've included on these charts are purely hypothetical. They're offered just as examples. Your numbers are obviously going to differ. Second, the investment spreadsheet, the second page, it shows at the bottom some hypothetical investment allocation, how you might want to invest your money into different types of funds. That is something that I'm offering basically as an example. I am not a financial advisor, and I'm not necessarily recommending you either invest your stocks or bonds in that allocation. I just want to make sure that everybody is clear that those are just examples rather than recommendations. Okay, so let's talk about the net worth summary page in the first page. On the left-hand side, let's start off first with the assets. These are the things that you own, the things that have value that you own. And you would list them by category. So for example, the first one is your retirement accounts, like your Roth IRA, which I hope you've already set up by now, or your 401k plan. The number that appears on line C4 of this spreadsheet should basically be the same number that appears on line C11 of the second sheet. Your actual numbers will vary, but you want the gross amount of your retirement accounts in that column C to be the same thing as what appears in your retirement account spreadsheet where you list all your investments. Note also that for the retirement accounts, I've included 2 columns. One is net value and one is gross value. And the reason I do it that way is because for most investment accounts, other than a Roth IRA, you are going to end up having to pay taxes to the government when you withdraw the funds later. So therefore, when figuring out what you actually have and what your net worth is, it's a good idea to count after-tax retirement savings rather than pre-tax, since you're not going to be able to keep all that, but have to give some of it away to the government. Other than the retirement savings, the next thing down is house, if you have one. On this line, you should include the total fair market value of your house. Don't subtract things like your mortgage or a home equity line of credit. We'll take care of that in the debt section. If you don't know how to determine the fair market value of your house, go take a look at the video we have on buying homes in the real estate section of our website. The next line down is called accounts receivable. That's basically just a fancy term to describe what you are owed by other people. I include salary on that. So if you have a salary that's going to come in for the next couple months, it's a good idea to include that. If you're expecting a tax refund or other sorts of refunds or payments, include them on that line. The next item in your assets is cash. That should basically be a summary of what you have in your checking account or any cash at home if you have any, which I hope is small. The next item is a car. If you own a car, again, put the full fair market value of the car, what you could sell it for, on that line. Don't worry about auto loans. We'll take care of that in the debt section. And then finally, you're going to add in your miscellaneous personal assets, things you have around the house, your computers, your clothes, your furniture. That number is usually not going to be very big, but it's still part of your assets and you should include them. Once you've figured out everything you own, Add up those assets, and then you would have it on this chart. It's on line 10, the total assets. So we're done with assets. The next thing we do is now we go to your debts. What you will have listed on the debt section of your spreadsheet will depend obviously on your own financial situation. Most common ones that appear on there will be a credit card, whatever the balance is on your credit card. If you borrowed money to buy a car, the total value of the auto loan that you owe will be on there. And if you bought a house and have a mortgage or a home equity line of credit, you would include that as well. Once you figured out all those line items, you're going to add them up and they would appear on line 16 of the spreadsheet. Finally, once you've added up all your assets and come up with a number for them, and added up all your liabilities or debts and come up with a number for them, you subtract the debts from your assets, and that gives you your net worth figure. On this chart, it appears on line 18. So what's the point of going through all this trouble to do this? There's really two reasons why this is a valuable exercise. First, accountability. Having a chart like this can help you stay accountable to yourself in managing your finances. In one handy place, you've got an overall sense for what you're worth, whether you're managing your debt properly, and it really gives you some comfort to know where you stand financially rather than sort of living in an information vacuum and guessing and sort of hoping everything works out. Helps make you more accountable in managing your finances to see how they fit into the overall big picture. Second, this is a great motivation tool. If you are trying to build wealth over time, having a chart that shows how you are doing can really be a motivator. You're going to want to see that net worth number increase regularly. And it can come into play, for example, if you have $500 available to you and you're trying to decide whether or not you want to save that in your Roth IRA or spend it on some fancy clothes that you don't really need and will lose value right away. Wanting to keep your net worth number increasing may help you make the right decision. I know it has done that for me in a number of circumstances. So in other words, having a net worth chart can help you make good financial decisions. So that's it for the net worth chart. I encourage you to create one for yourself that works for you. I encourage you to update it regularly. In our next section of videos, we're going to be talking about how you can make that net worth number increase, in particular through saving and investing. Until next time, remember, you got this.